For the finest in vinyl siding, rain gutters, overhangs, storm and replacement windows, even patios and decks, trust in the experts at Ultimate Siding and Gutters. In addition to being licensed and insured, our technicians are also friendly and courteous, performing hassle-free service and installation at affordable rates. Plus, we provide free estimates for commercial and residential structures. Our entire staff will exceed your expectations. For the ultimate in siding, gutters, and much more, call Ultimate Siding and Gutters today.
Alright, welcome everyone. We are back with the Racing Revolution League, and tonight 30 drivers will have their hands full as they tackle another tough track on this schedule. Racing Revolution sponsored by Ultimate Siding and Gutters, Butt Kicker, and Chapman Environmental Services. This is Patrick Morrison here at SimTrax Broadcasting, sponsored by W Energy Drinks. Be better. W is formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Visit my link down below and use the code SimTrax to get it discounted. When you take a trip to the Pacific side of the country, there's a lot of places people visit. But one stands out the most, and no, it's not in California. Las Vegas, Nevada is where we land tonight, where your odds are better than even. Constructed in 1996, this diamond in the desert, D-shaped oval track with 20-degree banking really gives the G-forces these drivers are looking for. 29 drivers taking on this track so far, I see logged in, and all looking for their first win to lock them into the playoffs. Miraculously, Robert Rader came in third after a crazy late pile-up at the line, and Caleb Gilbert came in second, barely missing the win at Daytona. Winner of that race, who hung back mid-pack, Trevor Earhart. We'll be watching out for him here tonight. He thought he was going to be off, but he is not. He's going to be on the track here tonight. Quick blocking at the end of that race secured the lead and nailed him for a playoff position. Man, it is going to be an exciting race tonight, man. Let's go ahead and get this thing wound up and tight. Let's go ahead and see how we're feeling with what we're looking for here so far. Man, let's go ahead, and we are looking at a lot of different track temperature here tonight. Right now we are at 137 degrees on the track with 90-degree temperature, so man, this is going to be a tough one. A lot of things you're going to see here when you start getting track temperatures like that. Tires are going to be the biggest thing to try to get this hooked up and stay on the track. You know, appreciate you guys joining us here at SmartWave Solar 200, and I'm beside myself. This is going to be a blast. We are going to have a stage break at lap 40 out of the 134, I believe, we are running here tonight. So, man, this is going to be one to see for the race. I mean, man, these guys getting piled up, really wrapping up these qualifying laps, and as soon as they're done with that, we're going to kind of see really where they line up here. Qualifying will end here in about another 45 seconds. Parker Johnson looks like he's kind of just tootling around out there. Let's see if we see anybody else. Kynan Jones may have run out of a little time there. He has not yet to qualify. So we'll see if he gets out there. I don't know if he'll have enough time. He's got about 30 seconds to get this one really put away for him. But this is going to have to be quick from him to get this squared away. But we can already see Berube right there in front, scoring the pole so far. No one as fast as him yet. Justice Murphy, Nick Alves, Caleb Gilbert, and Trevor Earhart really in the top 5. Oof. Well, I guess Kynan will be heading to that backup car. That didn't look good. As his 85 Ford just bit the wall. So here we go. These guys getting ready to get lined up and squared off here at the line. So let's go ahead get this here and lined up for us. So let's see. We got Alex Berube taking the pole here tonight. That'll do well for him. Justice Murphy, Nick Alves, Caleb Gilbert, and Trevor Earhart remain in the top 5. Trevor starting up in that 5th position, so that is going to work out fantastically for him as we get going. Kevin Orlando, Tay McDonald, Michael Bennett. Look at that. That 14 Chevrolet up front. Robert Rader waiting to get him loaded in there for the next running here. Albert Likens rounding out our top 10. Jeremy Burns got a lot of fans out there looking for him in that 9 Chevrolet. We'll have to see how he turns out. I know he gave it a heck of a run there at Daytona. Long beside him will be Ted Rekich in the 12. Boy, and that is going to be a tough place to be for him. Blake Cook, Daryl Johnson in the 8 machine, hopefully to clean up a little better than he did last run. Chad Lancaster was able to get out a lot of trouble last week as well, but John Fike, Mr. I ran out of gas, is here in the 16. So these guys, you know, have a fuel window of about 30 laps here. So we'll have to see if he can stretch that as well. Obviously, a green flag pit stop will have to go ahead and ensue on that one, and keep that in mind. Brandon Richardson, Parker Johnson in the 18th position. We'll see how he turns up. Jacob Surkovich here in the 19th, and Grant Thorpe going ahead and taking out the top 20 here. One of the faster drivers, starting really far back, so I don't know if that hot lap kind of didn't pay off for him. James Loveland, Steven Sommerth here in the 81 Chevrolet. Good to see him out here. Another new driver, David Buell. David Stanfield in the 31. We saw him up front there for a little bit, along with Ed Ryan in his 51 Toyota. Alex Kenton here in his Chevrolet. We'll see how he ends up. Kynan to the backup car is starting 27th with Shane Lovrich here in the 28th. Go ahead and get my eyeballs out here. 29 is Shane Lovrich. Let's see, Adam Bowden. Hopefully he got loaded back in. I see him out there in the chat having some technical issues, but it looks like he got those squared away, and it looks like Peyton Presley may or may not be on the track here. Kind of a bummer if that is so. I am unsure at this point, not seeing really that car moving. But that is going to wrap it up here for these guys. And to get this one away, Alex Berube, man, seeing him starting so soon up here in the front as a newcomer to this league is going to be fantastic. I'm super excited to see that 19 one of Alex Berube in his Toyota get away. So here we are, Toyota up front, 2 Chevrolets behind him, Caleb Gilbert in the 4, and Trevor Earhart to round out another Chevrolet. So really, Toyota's not a favorite out of these guys here. But regardless, it looks like Alex Forjet Berube will be going ahead and taking us to the green flag to start the Smart Wave Solar 200. This is going to be a blast. And we'll see how this go ahead and get wrapped up for this. But here we go. Away we go. Stellar Stella out there in the chat. Yes, Bowden did get here just in time, but here we go. Nick Alves out in front, going ahead and moving his way into the 2nd position. Nice, comfortable place for him, but hopefully no trouble out of him here tonight as Berube is taking off in that 19 machine. But great start by everybody out here. You kind of see how we're staying clean. Quick little note out there. You guys enjoyed the drone footage last week. We will not have it tonight. That drone has been parked. Apparently, the guy who was controlling the drone was not able to make it to the track. The trip all the way across the United States, he was unable to do that. So we were just going to be able to get a few spotter views here and go ahead and stay on the track. But man, this is going to be tight. And look at him really pulling away. Already over a half a second lead off Nick Alves here in the 24 Coastal Financial machine. He's going to have to work his way up front, and really at 24, you know, it's not that he's not fast, but what I'm curious to see is what if any of these other drivers going ahead and working their way back up front here as well. Grant Thorpe and Caleb Gilbert. Those are your guys to really kind of keep an eye out for. They're really, really fast on this track. And really, it's starting to become a lot of, really kind of some, what these guys are having to figure out is just with the track temperature being as hot as it is. We'll go ahead and pop that up. Look at that track temperature at 137 degrees right now. So you see we're not going to have a whole lot of tire warm-up here at this point. you know, these things are going to get seeded in pretty quick, and these things are going to go ahead and get seeded in. But let's take a look at one of our favorite drivers out there, Robert Rader. Look at that, a little interesting seeing those red wheels on his car, but him right there behind Trevor Earhart, which is really surprising. Trevor Earhart said he would not be able to make it in his post-race interview, but here he is tonight up here in the 6th position. So any Earhart fans out there, man, go ahead and give me the chat. Let me hear you root him on. I like seeing that 21 Black Rifle man, Chevrolet out there trying to get his way up front, but still really quite a battle here. Thank you again for joining us here at Simtrax Broadcasting. This is going to be a blast. I'm glad you guys were able to show up here. Quick float that right up in the top there where you guys can see it. Man, if I can just, there we go. SimtraxBroadcasting.com. You'll be able to find all of our post races there and all the links to all my social media, Twitter, Twitch. Oh, boys, it looks like Trevor Earhart gets really loose there. But yeah, check us out at that link there and be able to get that. But that move right there moved Trevor Earhart all the way back to the 13th position. And we'll have to be definitely kind of careful with that as you see him bumping and banging around. I don't know if turn 4 is starting to give these guys a problem. I have been warned that turn 4 is a treacherous turn. But I do want you guys to keep in mind, if we look up here at the tower, Berube almost has a 2.5-second lead off Justice Murphy, who is right now in the 2nd position, has a lot better luck so far this race than he did there at Daytona. You know, a lot of guys getting piled up in that race really ruined a lot of guys' nights. But here, looking to turn it around. But Justice Murphy, these guys are going to have to start working together and get out front. With the fuel window being around about 30 laps, it's going to be, we are here at Vegas, so you will be kind of gambling here, really, how far you can or cannot get out there to the front, you know, and be able to last. If you've got about a 30 lap window, I assume Berube will run out of fuel first. No draft help out there, but really it does not seem to be affecting him, as you see him pick up another 10th on that lap there. So really, this is starting to be kind of an issue here. Let's see if we can see a little bit here of Justice Murphy, kind of some time lapse here of really what they're pulling away. Let me see if I can find one a little better. That one's kind of crummy. Let me see if I can find one a little better. Let's see. Here we go. And kind of you see him kind of pulling away. At really what is happening here is just it's not being able to get pulled, you know, reeling him in here. And just so far, man. Yeah, as you just see him absolutely pulling away. So that is just, yeah, these guys, I'm just wondering if it's going to have to wait it out. But here we go. Tay McDonald up 4 spots from where he was. But Robert Rader out there up 6 spots at this point, working his way on the outside of Tay McDonald there in the 53. So a lot of guys moving here around here so far. Michael Bennett has fallen back about 7 spots. He's there in the 15th position. Kind of a bummer for him, but you do see these guys starting to loosen up, getting a little bit wiggly out there, and seeing how they can get around out there in the chat. Yes, I see that Bowden and Earhart did make it, and really excellent to see. Seeing we get 2 more drivers out here on the track. Really a stacked field with over 30 of them out here. So excellent job by you know, the Racing Revolution to be able to put this together. And get this one, you know, and have these guys all show up. Kevin Orlando trying to make a little move there on the inside. Almost looked like he was trying to peek for a 3-wide position, but Tay McDonald goes ahead and pulls away on with his Ford. Moving out front. Ooh, a little contact there from Caleb Gilbert there. Going to have to watch out with Ted Rekich there on the outside. So these guys are not really playing nice here so far. Got to be super careful of how they get around this track, but have no fear. These guys know what they're doing. But Justice Murphy starting to cut into Berube's lead. I'm not sure if Berube is starting to have some fall off here, or Justice Murphy is starting to reel him in, but is sawed off about half a second there, and Berube is starting to drop off there. Only about a 2-second lead at this point. I have seen before where drivers do end up doing this, kind of slow down a little bit, and they are kind of dialing it back, trying to make sure you can hold it. But boy, look at that Berube gets loose off of 2. Oh, no. And that is just another half a second, Justice Murphy. So here comes Justice Murphy in his 12 Chevrolet, just eating up that time as it cost him almost an entire second. Holy cow, as these guys are definitely starting to reel each other in. You kind of see Justice Murphy starting to enter into the camera view here, get a little kind of outside look. And we are seeing, Berube super fast, but man, I just don't know if those tires are holding out. The track temperature is going to be a problem. But fortunately, these guys are going to have kind of a reset button with a stage brake. And the stage brake will be at lap 40. If there is a caution within 5 laps of that stage brake, they're going to go ahead and call that the stage and go ahead and move on from there and continue on. Still have the caution and be able to pull in, get some tires, get some fuel, and try again. But we are 15 laps into this thing, and man, look at that. Justice Murphy reeling him in and really starting to get the aerodynamics from that 19 Toyota. And here they come. So we are seeing a battle for the lead here, and really this is going to be the one for them, as you see. Justice Murphy starting to reel in Berube, less than a tenth. So here he comes, and we're going to see if that 12 machine can hold him here. Oh, man, as they get ready to battle, boy, I really enjoy seeing this. I mean, you did see Justice Murphy off by 2.5 seconds, really starting to kind of reel him in and seeing if he can pull away. But Justice Murphy super fast here and is going ahead and taking away super fast out of his car. So let's take a little ride along with him and kind of get a good feel for what he is battling up front here. Justice Murphy goes ahead, takes the lead, and away from Berube he goes. So there is the pull away, and it looks like Murphy has gone ahead and bet on black. He is working his way up toward the front and is now positive. So here we go. Justice Murphy, starting in that second position, has now gone ahead and taken the lead. Much easier to get out there with that clean air. Big problems with dirty air on this track is seeing these guys battling around that tri-oval. I had a little chat with Robert Rader, and he says, dirty air around that tri-oval is going to be a little weird. So, it's definitely going to start loosening up the car and doing a lot of weird stuff. And I definitely see some paint being traded. But let's take a look back here as Caleb Gilbert goes ahead and slices it up with Robert Rader here. We'll kind of rotate back here in just a little bit, see if Robert Rader is going to put a move here on Caleb Gilbert in that 40 machine, or if those two are going to work together. It looks like they may be trying to calm down a little bit. Robert Rader kind of bleeding off a little bit of that speed. Jeremy Burns, boy, kind of getting dug in there with wreckage in that 00. Tay McDonald actually falling back there a little bit from his spot of where he ended up during qualifying. But let's go ahead and look at Grant Thorpe. Him in his 77 Chevrolet there. Man, and you just kind of see how the field is mixing up. Right now, Grant Thorpe is your biggest mover of the race so far, up 12 positions into the 8th position, fighting there along with Ted Rekic, up now 13, going ahead and taking it over and putting that Toyota behind him. And, you got to be thinking at this point, Kevin Orlando in that 27. I know we got a few fans of Kevin Orlando being able to kind of maybe see if these tires will last, trying to see if if it's, kind of taking a lean back and forth, really what's the tire conservation here to keep this one alive. But Berube up there in that tower there, look, he's off by over a second now. Justice Murphy pulling away. But is this the seesaw effect? Will Murphy fall off just as fast as Berube did, getting loose on some of those turns? But we hope not. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. It is fall, so I know you guys are starting to get a little bit of those allergies starting to set in. I know for me, man, you start getting a little bit of that stuffy nose, kind of that sore throat and everything. But, man, if you guys can go ahead and stay safe out there, don't get sick, and sit on your couch. Sit back, watch this broadcast here with me at Simtrax Broadcasting here at Vegas for the SmartWave Solar 200. Man, I'm thrilled that you guys are joining me here tonight. As we get underway, we're kind of keeping an eye on Kevin Orlando here. He is about 2 spots back from where he was, fighting along here with Ted Rekic here of the 00. Looks like Brandon Richardson has gone ahead and pit He's a lap down along with Chad Lancaster. Not sure if a little tumble up with those two ended up happening earlier on. But David Stanfield has gone ahead and pit as well. I'm not really seeing any different issues from that. We'll have to see if any of these other guys. So right now we got Brandon Richardson, Chad Lancaster, I believe, Shane Loveridge, Adam Bowden, Stanfield. They're all lapped down right now. So it seems this clump back here may know something. Seeing that they only have 6 sets of tires, I mean 5 are in the pits if you want to count the ones that are on the car. That is going to be a kind of a bummer for some of these drivers out here, is they're going to have to meter their tire usage. And really, it's a toss-up with these, which way to go. Back and forth is, are you, do you take them here at the stage break or do you not? Because that could be the make or break of this race, is having a late set of tires to push here toward the end. As we could see at Daytona, if any of you joined us last week, I hope you did, that you will see, certain things where an extra set of tires would have been helpful, as we have our first caution out. Something has happened here in the back. Not sure what happens. It looks like our pace car's drifting his way out there, trying to get out there as much as he can. And we will have to see what ended up happening for that caution there. I do see some smoke, but we are going to go ahead and go to our first caution here for tonight and see if anybody bent this up. Alrighty, and I believe I have found it here as well. I had you guys kind of taking a peek through the montage here. Let's take a quick little look here at the 51 of Ed Ryan. And it looks like Kynan Jones here in the 85 kind of changed up the paint schemes on me here a little bit from that purplish car, and see what exactly happened here with these two. Don't know if there was a little touch, but we'll see. Boink, right there. Yeah, and Brandon Richardson kind of got a little side door from that, and Ed Ryan gets turned around. So let's go ahead, wind that back one more time. Let's get you that Michelin Chop review. I know we got a lot of fans of that. I am as well. And this will give you a good shot, kind of if and what happened at this point. These guys did get pretty close. I am not a fan of netcode. Not at all. But I will let you guys make that decision, and let's kind of see what happens here as we kind of slow-mo it when he gets back on the straight. Right there, kind of a quick touch. Boy, as they get turned around there. Boy, that is a bummer for that 51. I had a good race line going there. I just don't know if him and Kynan just kind of connected there. Really here, let's try to see if we can get another angle. The 85 kind of touches him. Let me see if we can get of Kynan Jones. Let me see. Let me get that producer on the line. What are you doing, man? Here we go. Let's see what we got going on here. As we get kind of tangled up here, let's see where Kynan Jones in the 85 and his right front suspension. Man, check this angle out. So we're going to find out right here what happened. Oh, a little touch right there. All right. Well, and I will let you guys all make that call. But yeah, it looks like he got turned around. But that's kind of what you do see here. I mean, you can't blame it on one thing or another. A slight move. I mean, these guys are racing here by inches at this point, and you can't. I hate to finger point, and it's one of those things that with the track temperature being what it is, and it's just starting to get hotter and hotter and hotter on this track. Those tires are going to start getting slick, and one slight little rub, a slide can cause a huge problem for a lot of these drivers. But everybody at lap 25 has gone ahead and pit. I would assume that the best course of action here would probably not to be taking tires. I would probably wait this out till later on in the race. We do have some pit times out there. 10 seconds for Alex, Forjet Berube, Kevin Orlando, 8 seconds. Nick Alves, he's up there. He had a 9-second pit stop. And some of these other guys had about 14 to 17. So they may have taken some tires or a lot more fuel. Going ahead and topping this thing off. Remember, that fuel window is 30 laps. So here we are going ahead and crossing the line, and that puts us at 28. And that is going to be, you know, really, I would assume no tires. You know, everybody came in, topped off on fuel, and are going to go ahead and push forward and get wait for the stage to go ahead and get those tires. Stella out there, man. I love seeing frequent viewers. You guys go ahead and chat. I don't see some of the other some of my other viewers out there. I know Sean Latin. Where is he? I haven't seen him out here. I haven't seen. Well, there was a fan of Trevor Earhart's out here. I don't see you out here, and that's one of those things, guys. Like the video. I see you guys out here watching. There we go. Brandon Hinman. Let's go Burns. Excellent. I do see you out there. But yeah, go ahead and you know, talk to me. Yeah, but send things in the chat. I love talking to you guys out here watching here at the Racing Revolution League. Simtrax Broadcasting, as always, going to go ahead and launch these guys for this season. And just really what a blast these guys are out here so far. But pace car is off. And it will be Berube back in the lead, going ahead and trying this one more time. Sending this thing out front. As we got a quick switch up there. It looks like a little move there from kind of that Tay McDonald area. Maybe a little farther back. Blake Cook may be going ahead and trying to send this one 3 wide already. In that 4 machine. Either that or it was Albert Likens. Boy, there was a lot of movement up there up front. But Robert Rader, you want to talk about man of speed. Oh boy, man, I'm sorry about that, Robert. We kind of moved off you there a little bit to kind of take a peek at some trouble we had in the back. But right now, the only trouble right now is you putting an amount of speed already half a second and kind of doing that Berube deal there, moving a lot of speed here on that track. Look at that, as away he goes. Everybody else trying to play catch up. As we take a look at him just kind of driving away with this one. Wow, Robert Rader, a lot of speed out of his machine here. As we're going to go ahead and look at him out front. This is awesome from his angle here. And take a little peek up there in 5th gear, getting those RPMs up into that 9,000 RPM area. That is okay for these NASCAR vehicles. They are going to go ahead and handle that, but a lot of speed out of him. Let's go ahead and pop that thing up there on the bottom right, kind of see how fast he's going. Man, really, that's a really good thing you do want to see is a lot of speed, but really look at that, no help. You know, he's held Justice Murphy as it looks like Berube is falling off way back to the 17th position. He had a massive fall off there, and definitely some tumble up for him. He's got to be careful flying back through the pack like that. And I'm assuming, you know, when these guys did take some you know, no tires here, that, you know, Berube did have almost the most worn out tires. He had the most fall off. And now, you know, it's starting to take its toll, and he may have to change his, kind of his angle, the way he's getting around here. As you see the 51, you know, he ended up getting turned around. Ed Ryan now was making a pass. Getting his way up front. I'm sure he fixed a little bit of damage with a 52-second pit time there. As he goes ahead and slides his way on around and up toward the front. So away they go. So we're going to have to keep an eye on Berube. He will have another chance at that stage caution. As long as nothing happens, we'll stop again at 40 and go ahead and get this one. But Grant Thorpe, man on the move. Kynan Jones is up 18 spots. Alex Kenton in the 89 machine. He's up 19 spots. So a lot of moving, seeing that the rear of that pack sliding forward. The 89 machine not rocking that stars and stripes we saw last time. Alex Kenton, if I'm not mistaken, that looks like a Weekend Woodsman up there up front on his hood there. So we may have some VRA racers out here. I know Kynan Jones and I believe Alex Kenton raced there on Tuesday nights with 10-4, but I'm glad you guys are here with me so far tonight. Trevor Earhart up there in second position, so really it's interesting to see Robert Rader up in the front. He won the pole, but wasn't able to win the race, but he won the duels at Daytona. Then you see Trevor Earhart here. He won second place at the duels, placed first at Daytona, and here he is in second at the Smart Wave 200 here at Vegas. So a lot of good consistency out of these drivers. Something to keep in mind with this 23 race schedule. If you win a race, you have locked yourself into the playoffs. When you have somebody like Robert Rader who wins 5 races consecutive, that does start taking a lot of spots away, and then you're gambling on points to squeeze in. So you do have a lot of chances. I believe last season we only had 10 races. Here we got 23, so plenty of time to go ahead and get caught up as we see Trevor Earhart go ahead and kiss it off the wall there a little bit. Probably no damage out of that car, but Justice Murphy is going to want to capitalize on that mistake made by Trevor Earhart's Black Rifle Coffee Chevrolet, as that 12 from Justice Murphy slides underneath and going ahead and working his way around, and he has now secured the second spot, but still a second and a half off pace. Gonna have to run Robert Rader down. Grant Thorpe still working that low line, going ahead and staying alive there in that 77. Trevor Earhart definitely having some problems out of that car. I'm wondering if this car is just starting to loosen up on him real bad, giving him some trouble, but we'll keep an eye. What I like seeing right now is Justice Murphy. I believe I saw him kind of dive off the track onto the apron, and that may be a favorable spot, kind of a cooler spot on the track, and kind of shorten that tri-oval there. Excuse me, it's a D-oval track, is being able to slide around and, kind of squeeze on a different part of the track where maybe the rubber isn't, or a cooler spot, as he takes not as an aggressive dive as he did last lap there. But Trevor Earhart goes ahead. He's still in the 4th position, still top 5, not too bad, going ahead and getting back there. But it looks like James Loveland, man, we saw him second place in last season's points. He just missed the win from there, and kind of missed out on that butt kicker system, but he is looking to turn that around this season. James Loveland in that 0-2, very fast in his Ford, and we'll have to see how he can get his way up front, seeing that he is sitting here in the 6th position, going ahead and putting a little work on Trevor Earhart there. Man, look at that, going ahead and diving real nice and low there into turn 1, kind of sliding around the turn here as Trevor Earhart works his way up the track, trying to maintain for for the last of this stage, as we are on lap 40. So they are probably looking for the lap to complete. Robert Rader all the way up front here, going ahead, bam, there we go. So he is across the line to go ahead and end that one there. But here we go under caution. It is a selected caution, but Robert Rader, I mean, 2-second lead, over a 2-second lead there on Justice Murphy. Super fast, and we may have a chat with Robert Rader down here in the booth here in just a little bit, but I do not want to mess up any of his pit strategy. Some other broadcast companies may pull somebody into the broadcast booth, kind of mess up their pit strategy. I will not. I definitely believe these guys spend full concentration, making sure, pit strategy. I mean, hitting your marks, being able to get around the track is one thing, but pit really is the make or break for a lot of these drivers out here. But man, this is going to be some trouble. I want to take a couple look. Jacob Sirkovich back here in the 29th position, and I believe we may have our first car back to the garage. David Stanfield in the 31 has unfortunately gone ahead and taken his vehicle back to the garage. That is a bummer for him. Like to see that 31 machine out here going ahead and giving a run. He had a shot. I believe Adam Bowden had a shot there at Daytona. But we are going to go ahead and see these guys lining up, cutting down pit road here. Let's see if there we go. Getting everybody all lined up, looking all pretty. Oh man, really. And there is no win for the stages out here at the Racing Revolution League. it's just kind of bragging rights at that point, you know, being able to kind of, you know, sticking in people's eye. You know, I took away the first 40, and it does start playing a bit of a mind game with some of these other drivers, is being able to, you know, I took away the first 40. I came away with the win. I pulled away, you know, and really what can you do at this point? As we see a lot of these guys, man, and to me, it'd almost be suicide not taking tires at this point. Yeah, we see Nick Alves, Kevin Orlando taking tires, the 19 machine taking tires of Alex Berube, and I'm sure he is going to cherish those tires going on. And really interesting to see a lot of some of these drivers taking tires and not taking tires. One person I do want to point out, John Fike, with an 8-second pit time. He may have only taken fuel on this one as gambling for later on in the race. Everybody else had about a 15-second pit time, which is about the medium time, as long as you hit your pit box at the right speed, to go ahead and get tires for the car. But so far, per my timer, John Fike is the only one who looks like he did not get tires. So we'll have to keep an eye on it, and, you know, I can't blame him at this point. But as I say that, look at this. Look like John Fike is going ahead and coming back down pit road, and we'll keep an eye on that machine. That 09 Fike take flight forward and kind of see if he takes tires here. He may think the best of it and may say, you know what, it may be a bad idea not to take tires, or he's going to come in and try to see if he can top off here. We'll see. I am not seeing that car any movement here, or he is serving a pit penalty. Hopefully not, but back out he goes. And man, what a run this is going to be. But man, let's go ahead and get Robert Rader in here. Let's see if we can have a little chat with him and see how the track is feeling to him out there. And here we go. Robert Rader, you got a copy?
Yeah, I've got you, Patrick.
Oh man, this is so much better than last week. I finally got somebody to talk to me.
Hey, we figured it out.
All right, 53, Chapman Chevrolet going ahead and taking away that stage win. I know there's you know, you guys don't win any points or anything like that by taking away the stage win. What?
I mean, I get 10 stage points and I get a playoff point, so I can't argue with that.
What? Oh my man, then I misread the point system. So there is a stage point. Okay, wow. Okay, so maybe that's why you took off by over 2 seconds on that stage. But go ahead and walk me through the track feel. I mean, what was the difference between the caution that we had and then, you know, the stage caution? All of a sudden you picked up a boatload of speed. What happened?
Well, I just wanted to be really careful at the start of the race because the track is really treacherous, and you know, there's a lot of sliding around going on. And then so I just wanted to take it easy, save a little tire, and didn't save as much as I really wanted to be honest. But it was just about surviving the first stint, and then it was time to go get playoff point there. So buckle up, go as fast as we could, take some tires, have a good time with that. And now we got a couple here that I think are on old tires ahead of us, so it's about to be another shake-up and craziness here on this restart.
Yes, you do. The number 8 Ford of Daryl Johnson and the Chevrolet 81 of Steven Sommer here did have only pit on lap 22 and 23 there. So that is, yeah, you are going to have quite a shake-up there in the front. Really, I'm assuming you took 4 tires. I mean,
absolutely, yeah. We're taking, every time we're coming down pit road, we're taking 4. That's pretty much the game plan today.
Okay, yeah, well, with that track temperature, I definitely believe that. But you were getting ready to line up that restart zone, and the pace car is getting ready to pull off, so I'll get you back to your team there, bud.
I appreciate it, Patrick.
Yep.
Wish me luck. We're going to need it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Robert Rader going to do his best to try to keep that car clean. And you heard, you know, you see how fast that 53 went. And he saved tires to get even faster. So, something to keep in mind. But here we go. Daryl Johnson taking our second. There he goes. All right. Well, he's going ahead and taking the second stage. That's what I'll call it here at this point. After the stage caution restart, he's going to go ahead and get himself a lead lap there, out there in front. But remember, he has not pit. So I think tires is going to be a definite factor for that. As you just see, Robert Rader going ahead and walking that on around. So Daryl Johnson may go ahead and get some points for a lead lap. Although it was on caution, that is okay. Going ahead and scoring a couple for that 8. You know, he may go ahead if he can stay on the lead lap and kind of wait for a green flag pit stop, and have an extra set of tires that other people will not. But Robert Rader going ahead and pulling away, and I'm sure he's going to want to distance himself. Justice Murphy just as fast, but boy, Caleb Gilbert, a lot of speed on that turn there. And really, you are going to have to see how these guys meter themselves back and forth, whether they can or cannot get this, stay careful here. But man, really look at that. Grant Thorpe here in the 77 machine on the inside of Tay McDonald. Tay McDonald riding that high line. That high line worked for him at Daytona, but I do not know if it's going to work here for him. But we're going to have to definitely take a peek at that. I know that some of these guys were saying the high line, very, very fast for speed, but hard, very hard on that right front tire, especially with all this banking. So, you know, the banking does help with, downforce of the car and being able to have that splitter there in the front. But, man, it's so difficult to get, you know, the amount of traction you're going to need when you need to last this thing, you know, at least 30 laps. For that fuel window. So, you know, you get started, and now you got to start ticking off. You know, we got to start looking at lap 74 maybe, when these guys are going to have to pit again, and you got to be looking back at your tires saying, all right, tires, I need you to hold on till then. But right now, who's not holding on? Ted Rekich going ahead and working his way on the inside. Tay McDonald as well, pushing his way, breaking into the top 5. So, Grant Thorpe, looking out his windshield, keep pushing along and get this thing underway. But let's take a look at somebody bare in the back that I know a lot of people take a look for. Jeremy Burns in the 9. See how he's doing, fighting a little bit there with Michael Bennett. And, Michael Bennett and David Buell. So these guys kind of giving him a hard time, hanging him up on the outside line. So definitely going to be some trouble there for him. Oh, boy, yeah, and you just kind of see the fight. Stellar Stella, I see you out there. These guys were 3 wide on pit road. Yeah, they do, when there's a pit road speed, if somebody falls off a little bit, they're going to start pile driving their way in and trying to get out as soon as they can to try to gain as many positions as they can. But, yeah, we are seeing the battle. I want to move back up to Ted Rekich, who is on a tear right now. Super fast as he goes ahead and makes his move around Justice Murphy here. Still battling there down on the bottom. We'll have to see how this battle as they are pushing along here. Caleb Gilbert trying to get a little bit in the mix here as you see that 40 machine kind of taking a peek around there as well. But man, it is not without trying here. Let's go ahead and get a little more outside so you can kind of get a larger picture of what's happening here. Ted Rekich able to go ahead and make the slide move up in front of Justice Murphy. Justice Murphy will appreciate that for the fuel savings, but Robert Rader, lead is being cut down. You know, not a whole lot of time for him as we see this one starting to reel him in. Not a lot of time out front. But I'm sure Ted Rekich, he had his time in the light at Daytona, going ahead and pulling away from there. But look at this. Ted Rekich starting to reel him in. Oh, man, you want some in-car views? We will give you an in-car view. So let's take a little peek here at a Ted Rekich lap here. See, nice and smooth. You kind of see how little steering input he has there around that bend in the front stretch there. Diving a little lower, trying to make sure he gets that fresh air. But yeah, nothing but speed. Nothing but some speed out of Ted Rekich here. But it is starting to be held up a little bit. Robert Rader said he wanted to conserve those tires, but maybe that is what he is doing, is now he's starting to kind of pour on the coal and get his way back out front. Yeah, these Ted Rekich here. Look at that. Get real close. As we kind of see Justice Murphy here, let's go ahead and take maybe a side seat. Let's take a side seat with him. Ooh, boy, as they get ready to go around as he makes that move. Leaving Ted Rekich behind him. Oh, no, but he doesn't. As they slice it back together, and we are out for another caution. And we have a lot of cars messed up here in the back. Remember, we do not have any fast repairs, and it looks like Trevor Earhart may have gotten tangled up in that one. Let's see if he's broken. Hey, that may be it for him. Yeah, trying to avoid that toe. That is not good for him. Oh, man. Yeah, that left front wheel's totaled. So let's go ahead and get back to this spin out here and see what in the world happened. All right, let's get to this Michelin chopper view here. All right, let's go ahead. 14, Michael Bennett. I did see him getting sliding around here, but let's see what exactly happens. Kynan Jones kind of mixed up in this one again. 14, 85. Oh, no. Looks like Kynan Jones may have survived on that one. It did kind of happen awfully fast. We'll kind of see if I can give you a little bit of a kind of a larger external look at who kind of got ganged up in this one. All right, so we do remember hour 3 here, so let's go ahead and take a peek. We see the touch there on the looks like the 16 machine. Albert Likens kind of gets it. Sends the 14 of Michael Bennett toward the inside. And here's what scares me right here, is you kind of see Kynan turning back, trying to save it, and clips out Likens again, which sends them both up the track, and that is not what you want to see, especially when you're Trevor Earhart. Boom. Yeah, and you kind of thought everybody was staying on the track. Look at, oh man, look at Kevin Orlando. 24 machine of Nick Alves having to avoid that tire there. Yeah, really nowhere to go. Bam. Trevor Earhart gets it again. And that may have sealed the deal, as it looks like Brandon Richardson caught him as well. How Ed Ryan got out of that, I do not know. But that is probably going to do it for Trevor Earhart here. Dang. Yeah, Kynan caught up in 2 of those wrecks here, and I think he may have survived. I think that car may still be in one piece out there. Yeah, it looks like all 4 tires. He's definitely going to have some aerodynamic damage, especially bumping and banging around. But I believe we'll take a look. Looks like Likens may be out. Daryl Johnson may be out, and Trevor Earhart may be out. But we will take a peek. Likens, there he is. Yeah, you see kind of the pit crew trying to hammer it out there a little bit. Trevor Earhart, same thing, trying to square that car away. When you do break that left front wheel off, it's going to be even harder. And there's the 8 limping in as well. As it looks like he may have, he did stay out there with that. So now I'm sure he probably slapped on some tires there. And it only looked like about a 5-second pit stop out of him. So we will have to see how the rest of these guys go ahead and get this one tangled up. But let's go ahead and get us run through our top 5, as long as these guys don't come down pit, start shuffling around. Robert Rader, Justice Murphy, Caleb Gilbert, Grant Thorpe, 16 positions up. Tay McDonald, rounding out the top 5. James Loveland still making good moves there. Him up into the 6th position, 15 spots up. Parker Johnson here in the 7th. Blake Cook in 8th. Alex Kenton there in the 9th. And David Buell in the 10th. Looks like he is in a Simbox Toyota. I know so a few of those Simbox racing guys there in the NSRA League with Nate Maurer and Doug Neal. I know they race over there at WRN. I do have them down in the link. One of my good friends, Mitchell Adams. Go ahead and check him out on Thursday nights. They're over at the World Racing Network. Great guy to listen to. I join him over there sometimes as a little helper. But, man, he is a fantastic guy. I learned everything I know from him. And, man, I couldn't be happier to support and sponsor him as well. So go ahead and take a look at Mitchell Adams at WRN on Thursday nights for the Beer Street Journal series. Those guys are kind of wrapping it up, aiming for the playoffs this week. And they are, they believe they had an off week last week, and they're going to be ready to go ahead and crunch down. I believe they are looking at the Milwaukee Mile coming up on the next round. So go ahead and check them out. But regardless, you guys are smart. You showed up here tonight at the Racing Revolution League here at Simtrax Broadcasting. And, man, this has got to be one heck of a run here to have. And, man, also, if you're checking out links, we got W Energy drinks down there. Take a look at them, man, and I'm sure use my code SIMTRAX just the way you see it up top, and they'll go ahead and discount that stuff off for you guys and tell them what you think about it. But right now, what I think doesn't matter is Robert Raider is moving his way up front. And really, some of these guys rolling the dice, trying to see if, if tires are going to work, getting this thing around to see how long they can conserve as we go ahead and have 60 laps in the bag here. I'm sure these cautions are helping out some of these other drivers, being able to hold this thing off for longer. And being able to, oh boy, wow, hold on. Let's go ahead and slide back here to Justice Murphy. Really getting worked on there by Caleb Gilbert in that 40. I made the mistake last week and thought Caleb and Travis were brothers. I was wrong. I'm sorry about that, but I will not make that mistake again, as I believe Travis is not here tonight. Travis is not here tonight, but Caleb is. It's hard to get that mixed up when you Gilberts are out here, but we do have Caleb Gilbert, who we do see a lot of here in the front pile. Tay McDonald still holding on out there. You kind of see him in our screen there a little bit. Grant Thorpe, like I said, they've been calling him out for being super fast right now, and I expect him to be kind of a late race pusher. It's safe to be up here in the top 5, kind of tumbling with the guys. Where I wouldn't want to be is really kind of that 18th to 23rd spot. That's where guys are starting to get a little loose. They're trying to, figure out, why am I back here? I shouldn't be. I'm fast, and start pushing the car maybe a little more than they should, rather than letting the car come to them. But we got a few guys out right now. We'll take a peek. Ted Wreckage. Let's see. I think Ted Wreckage is in the garage. Yes, he is. Ted Wreckage is in the garage. I don't know if he had a connection issue in his 00. Not good for him. Definitely difficult to see that one happen to that 00 Toyota. Darrell Johnson back here in the 26. Adam Bowden here. He's had a little trouble, but like I said, he's had some mechanical issues and a little bit of trouble from there. But let's go ahead. Let's move up to Alex Kent. He's getting 3 wide, fighting up there with Blake Cook and Jeremy Burns. Jeremy Burns there in the 11th position. So no real moving from him. Now he's moved into the 10th, but he's only 1 spot up from where he qualified. So still kind of in that median range. It's still a top 10 finish, but I know from what I hear, Jeremy Burns really fast. He can go ahead and get this done, but it's just that, how long can he hold out and get this one away? James Loveland still in the 6th position, but up, and really it's nice to see. You got James Loveland up here, 15 positions up in his Ford. In the 6th position. There's a lot of movers. You got some guys, Berube, unfortunately, back here in, the 15th position, falling off 14 spots. There's still a lot of race to go, but a lot of guys just starting to fall off. And it's been some trouble, but man, really trouble right now is John Fike in the 09. We know he got tangled up in some things at Daytona, looking to clean up his act there a little bit, but here he is going ahead and giving Justice Murphy some work, pushing on him a little bit. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer and see how well he is getting around the track here. Let's take a little onboard ride with him. He goes ahead and puts Justice Murphy in his rearview mirror, and look at him kind of disappearing there. Robert Raider, definitely seeing him catching up. Look at that. You see that draft pickup, and here we go. We do now have a battle for the lead. John Fike going to go ahead and make his move, but not yet. He may go ahead and wait for Robert Raider to get around this turn and try to overtake him. Whoa, a lot higher than I would have expected, but that is working for Fike. See a little wiggle there. Ooh. As it gets tight, and John Fike going to go ahead and lead. Right now we got we have 3 Fords and 2 Chevys up here in the top 5. these guys are pushing their way along. But you just kind of see Ford and Chevy are readily capitalizing on this race here so far. Up here in the top 10, a lot of guys, a lot of battling, great moves. But there he is, John Fike. But we all know from the outside, Robert Rader, he is the guy to just kind of sit back, let the race come to him, and then make his move. So no fear out of Robert Rader dropping off here. But there John Fike goes. His time in the spotlight here up front, as John Fike is taking flight, going ahead and moving his way up front. But where is Kevin Orlando? There he is. Kevin Orlando was back there toward the 18th position and has now worked his way up into the 4th position. I guess he's starting to feel that it is time to push. We are getting close to that 30-lap fuel window as we're coming up on lap 70 here. And these guys are going to have to start, contemplating when is a good time to pit. We are over halfway in the race here, and these guys are going to have to start battling, into the front. Stellar still out there. You obviously think that Fike put jet fuel in his car. These guys are running, over 110 octane race fuel in these cars. So yes, but I believe he is just decided to go ahead and turn on the jets and work his way up front, and say, you know what, if I'm going to pit and everybody else is taking tires, then might as well go ahead and spend them the best that I can. And Kevin Orlando is doing just that as well, as you see him working his way around, got away in front of Robert Rader there, and now is starting to put the work in on Fike. So Fike up 15 positions, Kevin Orlando up 4 positions, 3 Fords in the front, top 3. And really, that just seems to be the car make that is handling the track the best right now. And there we go, as we get Kevin Orlando taking the lead. But man, Fike is going to put up a fight, trying to keep this pushed around. Coming up on lap 72 here, 71 laps completed, and here we go. Kevin Orlando taking a higher line there. I guess maybe trying to conserve and get the spin off, but it seems that lower line does work a lot better than the high line. I don't know if the tires are conserving and are starting to work that out, but man, a lot of drivers out here are going to have to figure out how to maybe change their race line, as we see Kevin Orlando another lap led. So going ahead and knocking down another one in that 27 mellow yellow. I know we had a fan out there that I believe was a Kevin Orlando fan. I believe it was my wife, Patience. She goes ahead and says out there that the 27 is going to be the favorite. But as we come up, lap 75, I want you guys to go ahead out there in the chat. Go ahead and start hammering. Tell me who you think is going to go ahead and win this one. It's hard to say. These guys are kind of switching back and forth. Orlando, 3/10 ahead. Fike, is already put another second on Robert Rader. You see these guys just starting to get that amount of separation here and starting to pull away. But good to see Nick Alves staying out of trouble this race. And when he does, here he is, top 3. So now Robert Rader and his red rims chasing down that 24 now. You have Coastal Financial, Chapman Environmental Services car. Going ahead and getting that 3rd spot. So really a good thing to see these guys, starting to make their moves, pushing up front. And we'll have to see how long that they can hold on. I know this is definitely something that happened here. But, it's boy, a little tire smoke there. Looked like from somebody there starting to slide around the track. As we saw Alves come up on a little bit of tire smoke we saw out of that turn. I don't know if that Kevin Orlando of Fike is having a little trouble getting hooked up here. May have to change that race line there a little bit from what he is doing. But still, regardless, Kevin Orlando still putting up a good fight. I believe let's take up a good fight. Loveland here with Caleb Gilbert. Still giving a good push down there on the low end. And see if Loveland can get back up. He was in the 6th position. He's kind of fallen off a little bit. But he's going to battle his way back up front and go ahead and secure P8. And go ahead and get his way up there. Man, I hate saying that, P8. Kind of stinks when somebody says that. It should be position 8. No sense in making abbreviations here. As we go ahead and we start seeing our first guys starting to pit. Looks like Robert Rader's going ahead and pit. Justice Murphy and Steven Sommer here are going ahead and pitting. So now we got guys really starting to do it. Blake Cook, Peyton Presley, a lot of guys starting to pit. So Kevin Orlando, John Fike, Nick Alves, Ed Ryan, James Loveland, to round out your top 5 have gone ahead and stayed out there. Maybe a couple more laps. Go ahead and, you know, wear these tires out and see if, you know, if there's any difference on these on these pit times, you know, or on the speeds these guys are running, and see really what they can get done. But here we go. James Loveland going ahead and checking out. He's coming down as well. Caleb Gilbert came down, and Fike still hanging around out there, but Nick Alves kind of flexing a little bit. These guys all pit. Ed Ryan, Fike, Alves, and Orlando. These guys all pit on lap 56, along with Brandon Richardson and Kynan Jones. They all pit on lap 56 as well. Kynan Jones kind of cleaning it up a little bit there, working his way up toward the front in the 7th position right now, but do not know for how long. I mean, these guys do have to pit again and try to see if they can get it. But Fike has gone ahead, checked out. He said, nope, I'm not going to run out of fuel again this week. So here he comes down pit road. Gotta make sure you don't speed. That's one thing that will ruin a race, is speeding down pit road. You know, you got to come back down and get this again. There you are, Sean Lattin. You showed up late, but Robert Rader's got this. I believe you. Robert Rader's had a super fast car here tonight, and we'll have to see how well he can get this turned around. A lot of you guys out there watching, man, go ahead and hit that bell there on YouTube. Like, subscribe. You'll be able to see us here every Wednesday. That way you don't forget and see some great racing here out of the Racing Revolution League. But here we go. Nick Alves going ahead. There he is. Now, bang. Up 2 spots from where he qualified. Sitting there from 3rd. Now into the 1st position. Kevin Orlando going to have to follow along with him. And, oh, man. Ed Ryan, you know, he is now off by almost 4 seconds off the lead here. Really may have to start considering pit strategy out of some of these guys. Right now, everybody 7th back, I believe, has gone ahead and pit. The top 6 have not, so 7th back are now a lap down. And this is now where you start factoring how long do you stay out. You're running slower lap times out there on older tires. So you've got to be careful how long you stay out there. Yes, you may be leading. Yes, it may be working for right now. But right now, those guys on those fresher tires are making up the ground. And is it going to, you know, weigh different options of how this goes? A lot farther in their pit window than I thought. Lap 56, if when they pit, went ahead and stopped for fuel, that would mean 86 is 30. So they are starting to get much closer than the rest of them who maybe did or did not. But we'll have to see how this one gets around. But let's go ahead and take a ride. You know, let's take a ride with Kevin Orlando. Kind of see how, you know, if he's having to wheel this 27 machine around. Kind of take a little peek there at Kevin Orlando, trying to see how he gets wheeled around this track. Nick Alves said he's kind of punishing me, and he doesn't like that I cut him out of one of these pictures, so we're going to make sure he gets plenty of camera time. He is getting to lead some laps, so great job by that 24. That Coastal Financial Services Chevrolet. Super, super fast out of him, but he's kind of, like I said, he gets up front, just staying out of trouble is the key to him winning here tonight. But here he go, you know, still more laps led, staying out front. But look at that. Robert Rader and Grant Thorpe. These guys are lapped down, and they're going to go ahead and drive around and get their lap back. So this is really bad news for the drivers who have not pit yet. You see what the tires are doing, that is changing. And the distance that is starting to put on them. So Nick Alves may be starting to really communicate with that crew chief there, saying, hey, man, we got a problem. We got to start picking up some speed. And, yes, they do go ahead, connect, and Nick Alves is going ahead, getting those tires. But who is not? Ed Ryan. Ed Ryan is still out here in that 51 machine. He got tangled up there with Kynan Jones there a little bit. But he's staying out there as well, riding that high line. Interesting to see him so high on this track. But look at all these racers starting to get spread out here. And start figuring out whether, oh boy, he's got to be careful merging there into Parker Johnson. So Parker Johnson stays low and holds Ed Ryan out. If Ed Ryan was thinking about going around for another lap, he is now unfortunately unable to do so, as you see Nick Alves finally coming out of pit road there. And it shows Alves, I believe, is now a lap down. They're in the 17th position and marching back, Kevin Orlando and David Buell there. So you do see that pit window is now starting to cost some of these drivers out here. You know, plenty of positions here on the race. But Ed Ryan in the 51. And let's see, we only have 3 drivers out there on the track who have not pit. Ed Ryan, Brandon Richardson here in the 29, and Adam Bowden in the 83 have yet to pit. These guys all pit 56 except Bowden on 58. And just as I say that, look at that, Bowden going ahead and working his way down pit road. So a lot of, you know, that only leaves 2 more. So how long do you stay out? I mean, the lap times are got to be getting, you know, definitely different. I mean, Ed Ryan last turned to 33.4, and Robert Rader is turning a 31.9. As we, Brandon Richardson is now pitting. 1 left stranded. And right now, Ed Ryan is going ahead and join his time in the light up here out front. But he is almost 2.5 seconds off pace. He's got to pit. Because if you think Nick Alves was super fast, he is the first one who's not a lap down. But here we go. As Ed Ryan comes in, this should go ahead and everybody getting their laps back here at this point. Seeing how long he held out. So that only means one thing. Robert Rader will now reassume the lead once he gets back around, which is in no time. As you can see up there in our little NASCAR tower here, 19 seconds and ticking down. Ed Ryan still trying to get down pit quick. Stop and go. His pit time has already started and he's breaking away. So now Ed Ryan 12th and working his way back. So now here in the top 5, Robert Rader, Grant Thorpe, John Fike, and James Loveland. But man, the guys piling up right here, starting to stack up. But you see Robert Rader, how far he's starting to pull away from 3rd position back. The only person right now within reach is Grant Thorpe in the 77 machine. But right now we'll hang back up here with Justice Murphy, who's having a good race here tonight, as well as Kevin Orlando, but he is rounding out our top 10 there in his 27 Mellow Yellow, but still having a heck of a time. You know, he got some lead laps. He got to be out front there a little bit. It's just that pit strategy is going to change everything. And what would end up happening is if a caution came out right now, it would definitely stack up a lot of these racers. You know, it would smash everybody back together, and these tire strategies would definitely be a problem for some of them, seeing how some pit much later and some a lot earlier. I mean, Kevin Orlando pit back on lap 84 and Robert back on 76. You know, so a lot of them out there. Sean Lattin, I'm sure you got to be loving this one. Robert Rader out front, leading the Smart Wave Solar 200. And if he gets a win here at Vegas, his betting tonight did work out for him. And placing your bets on the 53 is really going to work out for him so far. A lot of guys here stacking up. Got a lot of good battles out here. A lot of good battles. I mean, Loveland, he's got his hands full of Jeremy Burns. I believe Jeremy Burns is going to go ahead and take away that 6th position here in just a little bit. Looks like Trevor Earhart has gone ahead and saved that car, but boy, I think you kind of saw that thing kind of bumping down the backstretch. So I don't know if Trevor Earhart is able to survive and keep that car alive. He is a lot of laps down, unfortunately. Spent about 20 minutes down there in the pits. I feel bad for him, but fortunately, on the bright side, he has a spot locked in for him in the playoffs here tonight. Man, look at them just getting about 3 wide there. Caleb Gilbert getting stuck right there, being in the sandwich. The meat in the sandwich is the 2 guys on the outside kind of squeeze him out of there. and march him back. I believe Berube is going to go ahead in his Toyota and try to make a shot, but not quite yet. He may have to go ahead and side friends with one of these guys to see if they can get their way up front, but not at this point, as we are 95 laps into this race out of 134. Ooh, man, as you see Caleb Gilbert definitely having a good slide move out of this. Boy, good job there. All right, 40 goes ahead and dials it back. Berube goes ahead and moves his way up into the 8th position. As long as he has, as much as Berube has been, been up front, top 10 is not anything to shake your head at. He had a hot lap there at qualifying, but there is a difference between running, 30 to 40 laps under complete green. Right now, we are under, I believe, a few more than that. I believe lap 54, 56 was our last. So we're about 40 laps under green right now, and it's a lot different running a 2-lap qualifying hot lap than coming out here and really sticking it. Oh, look at that Fike down pit road. Interesting to see him kind of short pit here. Not sure if something happened or he's having a little trouble. Now of that, but let's take a look there at 09 of Jeremy Burns. Grant Thorpe still almost falling back almost 2 seconds off Robert Rader. So the guy who was within reach has lost another second on that 53 machine of the Chapman Environmental Services car. Really tough one for him to make up here. Now I would like to take this moment to thank again Chapman Environmental Services, proudly offering broad spectrum regulatory compliance, permitting, field sampling services, and more. Visit chapmanes.com. Don't forget to check them out. So we've got a lot of guys trying to get around the track here, but right now I think it will be a good time that everything's kind of settling down a little bit. We're going to go ahead and push this on over to commercial, and we will be right back.
For the finest in vinyl siding, rain gutters, overhangs, storm and replacement windows, even patios and decks, trust in the experts at Ultimate Siding and Gutters. In addition to being licensed and insured, our technicians are also friendly and courteous, performing hassle-free service and installation at affordable rates. Plus, we provide free estimates for commercial and residential structures. Our entire staff will exceed your expectations. For the ultimate in siding, gutters, and much more, call Ultimate Siding and Gutters today.
One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Back. A quick little shout out for our sponsors. Glad to see them being able to make sure they can go ahead and sponsor a fantastic league like this, especially SmartWave Solar here going ahead and sponsoring Las Vegas here tonight. Really, it's great to see how many sponsors that this league has gone ahead and collected. But I'd also like to give a little shout out there for W Energy drinks. Be better. W Energy drinks are formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Don't forget to visit the link that I have down there at the bottom. Use the code SIMTRAX, SIMTRAX. All right, that's a capital S and a capital T, and that'll go ahead and get your order discounted. And then they'll know you watched me, went through me, and they'll know where you heard it from, and you heard it from me. But we are going ahead and getting back to the racing now after our little shout-outs from our sponsors there. Quick little move there from Nick Alves, having to change his line up there a little bit, trying to make sure he stays out of the way of that 85 machine of Kynan Jones, who is going to be racing all season. Super excited to see about that. I know he's definitely got a different paint job for him. Look at Fike right now. Fike going ahead and moving his way around the bottom. He is a lap down right now. So that 09 machine is going to have to make a move. Robert Rader up here in the front. Man, so fast. So fast. Almost 2.5 seconds ahead as we are boiling down to less than 30 laps to go. Man, he has got to be liking that, but we know we're going to have, man, the problem is we got at least one more green flag pit stop, and I'm really interested to see how these guys are going to handle, the green flag pit stop. If there's a caution, these guys are going to stack up. As you can see, Robert Rader making real quick. He's going to have to quick lock him up before he gets in. Oh, there he goes. Locked him up low late. So we'll have to see if he gets a speeding penalty. If he does, that is going to ruin his race. But back up front where he loves to be, Alex Berube there in the front with James Loveland chasing him close behind. Only by about half a second off, but these guys are going ahead and getting their way back up front. Berube hopefully looking to try to put a few more lead laps in the bag for him and get this thing around. But we do have somebody out there in the chat. I believe Alex Bowden out there hit the wall in kind of 8 minutes of required repair. So obviously he broke a front toe link and is going to have to get that repaired. And boy, that's going to cost him. You got to have your rest. You got to have your rest because you got to stay alive. And that is where, Alex, I told you, man, go look at W Energy drinks. And maybe that'll keep you alive. I can't stop the people from blowing up your phone. But there is a way I can keep you awake, and W Energy drinks would be the way to do it. At least it get you through this race. I'm excited. I'm going to end up ordering some here pretty soon. And we're going to give you a little thought into which one I like. I want to hear what flavors you guys like. I've heard from other people that the red one is actually their favorite. But we'll have to see. James Loveland out there in the lead right now. Yeah, look at that. Grant Thorpe going ahead and working his... working around that way. Grant Thorpe. Let's see. Last time that 77 machine pit. Last time he pit was lap 104. So a set of fresh tires on that one. And around he goes. 104, he should be able to stretch this thing to the end. And get his way out there. But we'll have to see Grant Thorpe in his Dollar General Chevrolet. In the 5th position. 31 seconds off. But still with new tires and Loveland. I believe Loveland is the only one to stick it out. But Loveland is in the pits. Alex Kenton as well is in the pits, which leaves John Fike going ahead and moving his way up into the lead. So a little pit strategy there. He did pit on lap 96. Robert Rader pit on lap 106. So his tires are 10 laps fresher. But Robert Rader has a 4-second gap to make up, as you can see up there in that top spot there. He is just kind of ticking them off there. And 10 laps, we do see the amount of fall off that they do have here is something else. Last lap's run. John Fike ran a 32.6. Robert Rader ran a 31.5. If he's picking up almost a second a lap, it will be in no time that he will catch up with John Fike. So I don't know if the Battle of the Fords, who will end up capitalizing on that one. As they get around Sean Ladden and Stellar Stella, you guys like the paint job on Robert Rader's vehicle. I'm starting to think you guys just want him more camera time. I think you want to see more of that Chapman Environmental Services car. And there you have it. So here you are, as we're taking a quick peek here at Robert Rader and those red wheels. I guess something a little sporty tonight, you know, kind of trying his hand on the red and black. So really, you know, going ahead and getting that one around. There you go, Stellar Stella. Another pun for you. Trying his hand. You like that one? I bet you do. All right. Back where we were. Let's go ahead and get back here to Kevin Orlando. Back here battling with Grant Thorpe. Where in the world is Nick Alves? Where did he end up? Nick Alves, after a late pit stop, here he is back here in the 5th. Hey, top 5, can't blame him for that. 22 laps to go. As we get this going, as we can see, Robert Rader and Fike getting ready to close the gap here. As you see, Robert Rader picking up a lot of speed. So he is down to less than half a second. So John Fike doing everything he can, but I just think it's imminent. He has no choice. He's going to go ahead, probably slide high and let that 53 machine just go ahead and walk on around. So right now, Robert Rader has got to watch out for Kevin Orlando. Kevin Orlando pit back on lap 106 as well. But Kevin Orlando has about a second and a quarter. Nope, he's chewing it down. So he's got about a second off Robert Rader, you know, really, and now is where the veteran status kicks in. Does Robert Rader push and try to run away as fast as he can, or does he conserve? Do you conserve your tires, kind of let Kevin Orlando reel you in and save those tires for this last shootout, or what happens at you know, really what he's able to do here? But, you know, as that would be, here's another one for you, Stellar Stella, is maybe he's going to play, you know, this is a little bit of a game of roulette. You really don't know what number to bet on. You just got to, he wants you to just bet on the number 53, going ahead and taking this one away and going ahead and sealing the deal for this. So I'm hoping a few of these other drivers are going to go ahead. Let's take a look at Kevin Orlando here, man, as he is starting to reel him in, kind of sticking around that 1 second mark. I mean, he's having some trouble. So it's the thing, is Robert Rader kind of holding him to a more conservative lap, kind of let that 27 mellow yellow Ford kind of reel him in a little bit and then pull away. So this is what we see Robert Rader do, and this is kind of working to his advantage here at this point. But there we go, Kevin Orlando trying his best. 19 to go as we're getting ready to wrap this one up here at the Smart Wave Solar 200. See if we can get this done. Let's see if we can get this going. Go, go, go. But he's just not picking up enough speed. So let's see if we can find somebody who is having some trouble. Let's see if find Caleb Gilbert. How is he doing? Caleb Gilbert is here in the 7th position, only about half a second off Justice Murphy there. Berube going to have his hands full of Justice Murphy. So let's see if that Chevrolet and that Toyota really get pushing along here. Orlando is staying about locked in there. Kind of a bummer for him. Not being able to really kind of catch up. And all these guys are kind of separated here a little bit. I know Parker Johnson and Brandon Richardson back here. Parker Johnson in that 48 Chevrolet. Brandon Richardson in the 29 Toyota. Trying to see if they can make some moves here. But, you know, it is kind of winding down here. We got 17 to go. And now, you know, it's kind of make or break at this point. You know, you got to... I don't know. What do you guys think? You know, should they start, you know, what would you do? I mean, I would probably kind of conserve here a little bit and push with about 8 to go. You know, because really I think there's going to be a shootout here in a little bit. As you can see, these guys, these two here are giving a good battle. Fighting along here. And taking a look, seeing if Richardson's got anything for Parker Johnson, or if these guys are just trying to work together and get their way pushed up front. A lot of these guys having a little trouble here getting around the track. But hey, you know, I mean, how many cautions? We didn't have very many here tonight, and you can't really, you know, turn your nose up at that. This is a hard track to get around here tonight. And you know, the weather. I mean, we're looking at 136 degrees as the track temp. I mean, that is so hard on these tires, really, to figure out what, you know, if they are or are not going to stick at this point. I think Justice Murphy tried to make a little move there on Berube there, but I'm not sure. I think Justice Murphy kind of gave it the last of it, and he may have burn those tires up, there may be nothing left for him. Go ahead and get this. Robert Raider, 14 to go, 2.5 ahead and pulling away. A lot of these guys out there doing awesome, awesome, awesome. Fantastic job. Let's go ahead. Let's see if we got another Australian out there. Let's see. Shane Loveridge. Haven't talked about him. And here he is out there, up 12 spots into the 17th position. Going ahead and doing some good work up here out of his 72 Chevrolet. And let's see, Jacob Sirkovich here. And the Saints 18 Chevrolet. He is back here in the 18th position, so 18 and 18. I don't know if that's kind of anything. If you're playing slots, you just need one more and he would win. There you go. Stellar Stella, I'd spin the Wheel of Fortune. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Very funny. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure these puns are starting to get pretty old. But let's see. Let's get back up here to the top three. Grant Thorpe starting to reel Kevin Orlando in now. So Grant Thorpe starting to pour on the coal and get his way up front. Seeing if he can battle it out with him. Making big moves. 77 machine trying to get up his way up front. Let's take a little ride along here with Grant Thorpe in the front. Yeah, a little more steering input than what we saw earlier with Ted Wreckage. A little more steering input in it, but these tires are starting to wear down. And I think the only saving grace out of some of these drivers out there is no caution. I mean, that would definitely change everything, is having to make another pit stop, throw on another set of tires, and, you know, give it another shot. But does Grant Thorpe have anything for Kevin Orlando? As we got a lot of guys battling back there. We got Murphy battling with Berube, but he's off by about half a second now, so a little tangle up for him. And I think Robert Raider may have this one sealed as we are under 10 to go. Right now, Kevin Orlando and Thorpe going to battle out for who gets the next spot on the podium. Regardless, these guys have already made almost another 2 to 3 second gap on Nick Alves. They're in the 24, just unable to break into that top three. A caution would help for him, but it looks like Nick Alves is going to have to dial it back. Berube making a shot there toward the inside. As that 19 Toyota, see if these guys can hold it. Oh, Berube rides him up into that turn. Good job by Nick Alves keeping it off the wall there, not trading paint just yet. As the battle still ensues between these two, still great battling from there. Go ahead, Michelin Chopper, where are you? Oh boy, as they tune in just in time, as you see Nick Alves kind of lean down just a little bit, get super close. We saw a little bit of that out of Kynan Jones and Ed Ryan there, those two getting connected. Oh man, Nick Alves having to dial back to the 5th position, now into the 6th, makes contact with Justice Murphy. Great camera angle, Michelin Chopper. Oh man, what a beautiful, beautiful shot right there. You see Justice Murphy goes ahead and breaks his way into the top 5 there. And it looks like that may just go ahead and calm down for these guys. That may go ahead and do it. 7 laps to go. They're winding this one down. Let's see if Kevin Orlando is getting any more work on him by Grant Thorpe. Thorpe has been making some shots there around these turns, kind of up there in that timer. But it may just not be enough time. I'm sure some of these guys are praying for a caution, seeing if they can go ahead and squeeze another set of tires on and kind of give it a shootout like in Days of Thunder. And, and get a set of matched tires to go ahead and get slid around here. But not right now. Boy, a good turn there by Orlando, going ahead and getting a good pull away there. No Gilbert and Loveland there, but man, I think this just might be it. I think your top 10 right here are sealing, kind of locking in their spot, going ahead and getting some points on the board. Let's go ahead and rotate back here to Justice Murphy, as we saw him break into the top 5. So awesome move by him, going ahead and being able to score some more points for his 12 Chevrolet. And Berube being able to go ahead and get into the 4th position in his Toyota. So we have a Canadian up here in the top 5, going ahead and getting that done for him. And really good to see out of that, you know, especially starting in the lead, going ahead and getting his way back up front. And keeping his hopes alive, being able to nail this one down. So awesome job by him. 3 to go. Robert Rader still leading this race. And, you know, just before we get to the end, let's go ahead and take a ride along with Robert Rader here and kind of see how smooth these turns are getting as we get toward the end. Robert Rader there getting good moves there, being able to put on the pressure and really lean on the gas. You know, he's taking his time. He's got a 3.5-second lead. There's no sense in rushing at this point, and being able to secure the win here at Las Vegas. But man, this is Ed Ryan kind of getting a little tangled up here with Nick Alves there in the 24. Nick Alves, be careful. You got to finish a race. Robert Rader going ahead and taking the white flag. Final lap here at Las Vegas. And what a battle and a race this has been for that 53 Chapman Environmental Services car. And you know he is cruising here toward the win. Boy, that was a fantastic showing there by Robert Rader. We had a little chat with him when he won that stage. And here he is going ahead and taking it away. Checkered flag is out for Robert Rader. Here he comes across the line. There is your winner, Kevin Orlando. Here he comes, 2nd place, and Grant Thorpe wasn't able to catch Kevin Orlando, but still nails a 3rd place finish. Wow. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Oh, man. Really, what a race, what a race, what a race by these guys. Going ahead and getting this one sealed up and all finished. Robert Rader, I mean, just Kevin Orlando, you called it, and he got it. He did it. Now let's go ahead and get our race results up here on the screen. Robert Rader, Kevin Orlando, Grant Thorpe, Berube, and Justice Murphy for your top 5. Nick Alves, James Loveland, Caleb Gilbert, Jeremy Burns, and Steven Sommer. Check that out. Steven did a great job up there, 12 positions up from where he started, going ahead and getting himself a top 10 here at his debut race here with the Racing Revolution League. David Buell, Tay McDonald, Brandon Richardson, Parker Johnson, and Peyton Presley. Now that silent driver out there in the 7 machine, placing 15th. Alex Kenton, Shane Lovrich, and Jacob Sirkovich getting kind of pushed up front there. Good job there by him. Looks like we've got Ed Ryan there in the 19th position. Chad Lancaster, Daryl Johnson, Michael Bennett, Kynan Jones nailing in the 23 position. John Fike tried to do a little bit of gambling here, but didn't work out for him there in the 24th. Bowden, try to get some sleep after this race because you got a race for you next week that is going to be definitely difficult for a lot of these drivers to go ahead and get that nailed down. Adam Bowden in the 25th position. Blake Cook, 26. Trevor Earhart, man, just really stinks how that turned out for him there in the in his Black Rifle coffee machine. In the 27th, Ted Rekich, Albert Likens, 23rd, and David Stanfield to round out the 30 cars that ended up on the race here. But man, really a bummer for a lot of these drivers. But not a bummer for some of them that we are used to seeing there. And dude, just so excited to see how many of these guys were able to get down and out. You know, making those moves of how they got really tangled up there with Grant Thorpe. I mean, this is going to be something. I am fairly certain that this is at least three guys, I believe, out of the 4-Star Motorsports crew. But we are going to go ahead. Let's see if we can find Grant Thorpe here as we get him moved around here. We're going to go ahead and see if I can find him out there in the Discord. I know he's kind of getting an earful from his crew chief right now at this point. You know, really how, you know, what could they have done different to get up front? You know, was tire conservation a key to the win here? You know, what would have done it for him to go ahead and get that Dollar General Chevrolet up front? Definitely hard for that 77 machine up there, up front, in the front. Man, just a bang-up job by Grant Thorpe. And we are going to go ahead and let's find Grant Thorpe. All right, Grant Thorpe, you got a copy on me here, bud?
I do. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. You got to be enjoying this finish rather than you did last week at Daytona.
I am. Daytona ended up being okay for me. Obviously, didn't get the win or anything, but I'm very happy with podium finish here this week. Love some Vegas 1.5 mile racing.
Yeah, 1.5 mile. You will not be seeing that next week, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. Man, talk to me about that Dollar General Chevrolet. I mean, how was the track feeling out there?
Track temp was super hot. I think it was like around 140 degrees when we started, so it was very hot and slick all day. So it was very much a tire management race.
Tire management race. Was fuel any sort of concern for you?
Not really. After that first caution in the second stage, I kind of knew it was gonna be a 2-stop race, and you really had to stretch it out. You didn't have to like clutch or anything to save fuel, but you had to kind of max out each fuel tank to make it to the end.
Man, yeah, and I bet you guys were definitely hoping for a caution there toward the end, try to get you guys fresh tires, and, you know, hopefully a 10 to 15 lap shootout would have been definitely crazy to give you another shot there at Kevin Orlando.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if Kevin had another set left, so had we gotten that late caution, I would have had that advantage on him. But there were definitely a few guys that would have been out there on some old tires, so it would have been a very exciting finish of the guys who pit trying to make it through there.
Yeah. What were you finding the most favorable line was? Was it the high line, the low line, or kind of running mid as long as you weren't battling somebody?
So I did my best to stay on the very bottom. I felt like that was the best in terms of tire conservation. But if you got up to someone, there's so much dirty air. If you could run the top and not get tight on exit, you'd carry a ton of speed and you'd be able to get a run on someone and get to their inside entering the next corner. So that's kind of how I managed to make my passes coming up through the field there early. All
right. Well, fantastic job by you here tonight. You know, you kind of had that pit strategy, a late caution, but let's go ahead and get you aimed up at next week, Martinsville. The Vet2Track 200. That's now we're at short track. It's your Virginia's Paperclip. How are you feeling about that?
Not good. Every time I've run this car on that track, it is very difficult for me. So I'm going to have to be grinding a ton this week to kind of figure that out.
All right. Well, you definitely have a lot of work cut out to go ahead and get that one squared away. But, man, fantastic job here tonight. Go ahead and give me your shout-outs, and I'll get you, let you guys get back on the road. You were at Daytona in Florida. Now you're in Nevada, at Vegas. Now you got to run all the way back cross-country to Virginia to get in Martinsville. So go ahead and give me those shout-outs because you guys got to get on the road.
Definitely the virtual hauler driver. He's been putting in the miles. But definitely my teammates and especially you for putting on such a great broadcast for us. You've been a great partner for our league, and we are very excited for the future.
All right. Grant Thorpe, I appreciate it, bud, and I hope to see what you have in store for us for the rest of the season. But I definitely want to see a win out of you, bud. We got to get you in the playoffs for sure.
We'll see what we can make happen. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Take it easy, Grant. All right, there is Grant Thorpe, definitely the man of the hour, placing up there in the third position. But right now, I mean, we got Kevin Orlando. Kevin Orlando in that mellow yellow 27 has fans out there in the chat, but he was unable to run down Robert Rader, who was super fast. Kevin, I'm sure you definitely wanted to turn this around or waiting for a late stage caution as well. Did you have a second, an extra set of tires there in pit?
At the end there, we were on the same set as everyone else, but it got us off cycle. I don't know if you noticed during the first stage of the race, I just did not have the speed. I wasn't going to be able to hold a top 10 if it was a straight up race, so I had to try something strategy wise. I am honestly amazed it worked as well as it did. The race just kind of played out exactly how I needed it to, but there was no catching Rob tonight with those wonderful red rims.
Yes, he was. He was sporting the red rims. I mean, I thought maybe he had some Vegas, a little black and red gambling ideas out there for his car, but it seemed to work out. So I'm sure Race Control will be looking into those wheels and tires. Everybody had to fall off, but he just didn't seem to have as much. Man, really, what was the key, to really getting it? I mean, Grant Thorpe said he didn't have any problem with fuel. Did you have any problem with fuel, or was tires more of the harder part of this race?
Tires was definitely the harder part of this race. I mean, even at the end of that shorter run where we were able to short pit a little bit when we got off cycle, they were gaining 2.5 seconds a lap on me and Nick, who pit with me there and got off cycle with me. So that was a big thing, and I think we waited a little bit too long on that pit. If we would have came in, 2 laps sooner, I think I would have maybe been close enough to have a shot at Rob at the end there. But yeah, no, that's tires definitely made a bigger difference with the fall off. Even after 6 laps, the car just started pushing towards the wall, and you're starting to lose almost, 3/4 of a second within the first 6 to 8 laps of being out on tires. So big difference.
Yeah. Your best lap tonight was a 31 second .1, and your last lap when you crossed the line was a 33.15. So I mean, already a 2-second fall off, and you guys, you did pit on lap 106, so you did see that 30 lap span was a 2-second drop. So definitely a hard thing, hard on those tires, especially with the track temp the way that it was. But I don't know if you're going to be running into as much track temp at Martinsville, which is next week, as you did here in Vegas. So, what is your, kind of from the outside looking in, what is your strategy for Martinsville coming up?
So Martinsville, with being a short track, fuel is definitely not really something we could play games with. No one's going to be worried about fuel. So tires do make a decent difference, but really what it comes down to is just maintaining track position. I mean, if you qualify poorly, you are going to have a long night ahead of you trying to make up positions. So really it's going to come down to getting out there, qualifying as good as we can, and just trying to maintain a forward position and having something at the end of the race for these guys.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, especially when you have a track that small. Getting tangled up, it happens fast. I mean, I would assume if you are not almost in the top 5 or top 8, you're in the crash zone. Everybody's bumping and banging, and there isn't a single car out there that isn't, dented up, has somebody else's paint traded or back into the garage. So it's no one will come out from there unscathed at Martinsville. But here you are as the second place finisher here at the SmartWave Solar 200. Man, go ahead and give me the shout outs, because you got to get your butt all the way to Virginia for Martinsville.
Yeah, it's going to be a long haul from here. But, I just got to give a shout out to, of course, the other admins in this league, helping put on a great show. All the drivers for a spectacular race tonight. I mean, it was not an easy car to drive at this track. There were some close calls, and there was a lot of sideways cars, and everyone held on to it. We had a long green flag run, and it really showed the skill level that we have here. So thank you to them, and of course thank you to the team, being able to work with them on that strategy. And we did split strategy. Rob was on a completely different strategy than me, and somehow we managed to pull both of them off the right way. So
oh man,
just really all works out.
Yeah, definitely different. You kind of would think, you guys on a team being able to kind of, go with the same strategy, but trying 2 different and still ending up with almost the same result. I mean, that works out perfectly for you guys. So, man, Kevin Orlando, great job tonight, bud, and I will see you next Wednesday at Martinsville, bud.
I'll see you. I hope to be back in the booth with you at the end of that one, too.
Oh, yeah. Short track, it's always a gamble.
Oh, I love that track. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Have a good night.
All right, that is Kevin Orlando. Definitely a battle up there for him. We're going to go ahead and catch up with Robert Rader here in a little bit, but we're going to cut to a quick commercial real quick, and we will be right back.
For the finest in vinyl siding, rain gutters, overhangs, storm and replacement windows, even patios and decks, trust in the experts at Ultimate Siding and Gutters. In addition to being licensed and insured, our technicians are also friendly and courteous, performing hassle-free service and installation at affordable rates. Plus, we provide free estimates for commercial and residential structures. Our entire staff will exceed your expectations. For the ultimate in siding, gutters, and much more, call Ultimate Siding and Gutters today.
Alrighty. A little bit of technical difficulty there, but we have caught up with Robert Rader here up in the booth. Going ahead and staying alive, man. But really, Robert Rader, dude, man, what was the key to really winning this race here?
I think it was just getting to the lead, really. It's one of those things here where the leader can kind of get out away from the rest of the pack, and then everybody else is just dueling it out and side by side, and the side drafting and the dirty air and all that type of stuff kind of drags that pack back, and then guys slowly kind of break out of the pack, and then they have a chance to run you down. So I knew it would be important getting to the front. We learned that in last night's practice race, so that was a big goal. Accomplished that early on, and then it was just kind of about managing the gaps at that point. I did see early on that Justice was saving his tires, and it paid big dividends at the end of the run, so made sure to back off my early pace, and it seemed to pay off.
All right, and here you are, race winner, locking yourself into the playoffs. I mean, does that with 5 consecutive wins last season, I mean, I can't say that, you may or may not have that chance again, this season, but, does this relieve any weight off your shoulders of playoff chances?
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping, I feel after last season pretty confident that I'd win at least one race this season, so I can't say there was a ton of pressure there, but, that definitely helps because, at this point now you're locked in, so all that matters is, getting playoff points, so winning stages and winning races, and I can kind of, forget about all the rest of the point stuff. So if I have to throw away a stage in order to have a better chance at winning the race, it's a really easy call now. Third place stage points don't help me any. I can be more aggressive with taking tires when other guys don't, that kind of thing. So it opens up my opportunities, which that's nice, but ultimately I guess it's going to be mostly the same.
Yeah, it was interesting to see how, you kind of were able to get that early lead pull away, kind of stalled out, kind of hung out about that second half a second mark, and then all of a sudden pull away by 3.5 seconds to go ahead and win the race, and pull away from Kevin Orlando there to kind of absolutely take away any chance of that 27 Ford getting, really catching up there. Was it the red wheels? Is there something going on with the red wheels to, is there a secret behind it?
Yeah, maybe. The red wheels were a complete mistake. I was working on my paint scheme for the throwback car here in a few weeks, which is cat's out of the bag. It's going to have red wheels. Forgot to turn them back off, so brought the wrong rims to the racetrack tonight, but I guess they weren't any slower. Maybe the finish on those are an aerodynamic advantage or something. I don't know, but it'll definitely be an interesting one. Being able to come from 9th and win the race, and it was a great race, by the way. I mean, everybody did a great job, so we'll look back on this fondly as the red rim race, I think.
All right, well, here at Vegas, that does work red and black, man. Just how you were able to drive here on the track is really what amazes me. I think it gets a lot of fans out there. I mean, Chapman Environmental Services, they know what you're capable of. Here we are, we have Sean Lattin out here watching you saying, man, this guy is super fast. and being able to go ahead and secure the win here is just another step in the success that you have here at the Racing Revolution League. But next week, you know, I've seen you at short tracks, and it's kind of a hit or miss. I mean, you got Martinsville next week. I mean, really, which way are we leaning to, you know, at that track? You know, are you feeling confident, or you know, are you know, not a good idea? You're going to kind of be mid-pack there.
I'm confident that we'll have a lot of broken toe links. That's already a tough racetrack, and then this car just makes it that much more difficult at Martinsville. So, I mean, I think that race is going to be as crazy and open to wild cards as, you know, a Talladega or a Daytona would be. You know, it doesn't matter how much skill these guys have. You saw tonight with 27 or 28 people in this race. We had a really long green flag run, or 30 people in the race actually. So, but we had a really long green flag run there, and just a lot of car control for guys on a really difficult racetrack tonight. And but regardless of the talent level of the guys in here, we're gonna go to Martinsville, and we're gonna wreck a lot of cars, I think. So if you can stay clean, you know, we don't have any fast repairs, and the toe links break really easily on these cars, so you can easily end up in a wreck that's not your fault and be done for the night. And half of it's going to be luck to be there at the end, I think, and then, you know, just cross your fingers and hope you don't get bump and run or dumped and run or any of that all the way to the finish. So I think it's wide open, Patrick. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't think any aerodynamic damage will really matter at that track. You just got to keep the fenders off the tires, you know, at that point. But, you know, I expect to see, you know, I would probably call out, I think you and Ted Rekich. Yeah, I think the two of y'all are going to really start trading paint at that track. I know he's pretty ruthless out there. He's a hard driver, but short tracks seemed to be kind of his deal. I think you guys raced at Nashville Fairgrounds last season, and that was a tough one, you know, just between the bumps and everything, you know, and what you guys were feeling around there. It's just, it's going to be such a hard loop getting around there. But I guess, you know, like even Grant was saying, and Kevin, you got to qualify, get up in that top position, and then try to work your way through lap traffic as long as you guys can stay green. Hopefully not too many cautions, you know. I'm assuming you guys are going to push each other around, but man, this is fantastic. Dude, man, go ahead and give me those shout outs for that. Chapman Environmental Services 53 Ford.
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, shout out to Chapman Environmental Services for sponsoring the car and the league. We appreciate that support and helps put these broadcasts on that you do a great job on. So, big shout out to them. And then, you know, sponsoring the race tonight is Smart Wave Solar, so we want to shout them out. If you need any solar energy stuff, they got all types of different options and stuff, so check them out. Butt Kicker is our grand prize. They put our grand prize up for the season, and even without their sponsorship, I'd probably still shout them out because I've got one, and it's a pretty great product. And then Ultimate Siding and Gutters, also on board this season, and I think it's pretty clear what they do, so if you need any of that, you know who to call.
All right, Robert Rader, your Race 2 Las Vegas winner here at the Smart Wave Solar 200. Robert Rader, great to talk to you, and I'm I would probably say it, I'm sure I will see you up here again, bud.
I hope so. 6 playoff points tonight, so we can go and wreck next week and feel all right about it at Martinsville.
All right, man. Well, we'll see how you do. Great job, Robert, and we'll see you next week, bud.
Appreciate it, Patrick. You do a great job with SimTrax, and glad to have you on board.
All right, bud. Appreciate it. All right, that is Robert Rader really getting this done here tonight, man. I appreciate everybody joining me here at SimTrax Broadcasting. That was a heck of a race. That was a heck of a race. We are going to be full of Martinsville next week. It is going to be a lot of laps there, 200 laps to be exact. So I mean, just car after car after car. Hopefully, no cautions. Well, I take that back. Of course, we're going to have cautions, but hopefully not too many, and be able to go ahead and get a great run. I think I think that track we're going to have somebody we don't expect. I'd like to see 3 different winners at 3 different tracks. Racing Revolution puts on a great show here. I mean, they really do. You saw by tonight, you know, cars getting loose, guys bumping, and things like that, and we really only ended up, I believe, with about 3 scheduled cautions. So fantastic job by a lot of those drivers. But go ahead, check us out at Simtrax Broadcast, and you'll find all the links, even past races there. And W Energy drinks, you'll see them in the link. Go ahead, sign up for their stuff. It's pretty popular. They are starting to run out of stock, but man, go ahead, use Simtrax right there. You'll see the word Simtrax, and now go ahead and get you a discount, man, and they'll go ahead and you even have shaker bottles, different flavors, and go ahead and get this thing underway, because Martinsville, these guys are going to need it. But thank you for joining us here at Simtrax Broadcasting. I will see you guys next week, and man, this is going to be a battle. I agree with you out there, Burns. If there's a caution under 10 to go, I believe you. I mean, I think there's going to be a caution with 15 to go, 12 to go, 10 to go, 9 to go. I mean, these guys are not going to. I think a lot of enemies are going to happen. Short track tempers will flare, and we're going to have to see how they hold out. But thank you again, everybody, and I'll see you next week.